welcome to this morning's webinar from Qube Learning. Looking to just give out some more information around our partnership with the Prince's Trust and their Health and Social Care's Future Fund presentation. So what we thought we'll do today is just give a brief introduction about obviously who we are, and then a bit into the scheme, how it could be work for you guys as a business, and obviously the reasons why the scheme's in place. So I'm Ben Deutsch, Business Development Manager for Qube, both looking into the e-learning side for Qube Learning, a bit into the apprenticeship side, and obviously working on this Prince's Trust scheme, aiming to obviously engage with employers into how this scheme can be beneficial to their organisations. Prior to this, I was involved in a lot of apprenticeship delivery, both as a trainer but also a manager in that sector.
Hi, good morning. I'm Heidi Dewhick, Skills Development Manager. I'm the lead on the Prince's Trust project. I also look after the AB budget for Qube Learning, and I'm heavily involved in the Qube talent recruitment team as well.
Okay, so obviously, what is the Prince's Trust scheme? So obviously the Prince's Trust is a well-known charity, founded in 1976, obviously by his Prince of Wales. And obviously that charity is a real key kind of brand out there, and our partnership with them is on this specific scheme aiming to try and recruit young people aged 16 to 30 into the healthcare and adult social care industry. It's funded through the Department of Health and Social Care, and obviously is in partnership with Health England, and aiming to get these young job seekers into the world of work in that key sector. Obviously, we know the struggles that the sector is currently having with recruitment, with retention and so on. So this scheme is specifically put in place to try and help that issue, you know, finding those young job seekers, giving them potentially some skills that they need to help them get into that workplace. And obviously as an industry, it's there to try and help fill the vacancies that you may currently have, or you may want to introduce as part of this scheme. You know, it is one that's not only current vacancies, but you could open up vacancies specific to aid this kind of scheme. So as a nutshell, we can help offer free recruitment as a service. So it's there to help support your health and social care supply chain. So obviously get people into the sector. While you're in the sector, we can help with the training and the development through, depending on what pathway you choose from. But then it also has that nice, you know, career progression, career planning, and it can help have that pipeline of people continuously coming into the sector to help, obviously, recruitment and fill any vacancies that you may have. Roles that are eligible can be pretty much anything that is in that adult care setting. So it could be obviously mainly on care workers, obviously, but there's things like the receptionists in hospitals as well as care homes. It could be dental practitioners, anybody who works in opticians, anything who works in IT related to those roles and those sectors. It could be people who work in, you know, the hospital facilities. It could be the kitchen assistants. Anybody who works or helps with the supply chain for the adult healthcare sector is open to this. You know, so if you want to recruit someone who just, you know, on the front of reception in your care home, you know, we could go down that route. If you want to recruit someone who works for your facility management, you know, we can go down that route. It really is a wide-reaching scheme. So how does it work? We are always working with job centres, with other established partners in pre-employment stuff, so traineeships, Kickstart and so on. So we're constantly working with young people aiming at building up their skills by a range of training methods, depending on that person. And we're continuing to do that as part of that scheme. The main difference here is obviously we can offer some additional kind of interventions specific to the care setting, but also it allows employers in the care setting to offer us their vacancies, and we can help recruit into that vacancy free of charge. So in terms of kind of how that could look for you guys, if you have any vacancies that you're trying to fill, you can offer us those vacancies, which Heidi will go on to in a second, and how that process would work. But we help, obviously, people would then offer through those vacancies. We will help with those people who've applied through these different interventions. They would then get put forward to yourselves. And obviously, if you would then go through your normal recruitment process, go through your interviews, acceptances, and so on. And obviously, ultimately, as the scheme's ultimate goal is to get these young people into a paid vacancy. If those people are unsuccessful, it's not the end of the road. We'll continue to work with those young people, finding them vacancies, finding them work placements, until hopefully, and the end goal is that we find everybody a vacancy where possible. So I mentioned previously about the different interventions. So when a young person comes and registers for the Prince's Trust scheme, we do a very in-depth discussion with them, find about their interests, their current kind of backgrounds, and so on. And then interventions would vary because everybody's individual, everyone has their own kind of needs. So each intervention is personalised to that person. So it could be that they just need their CV tightening up. So obviously we would help with that with different sessions. It could be that they get really nervous in an interview. So again, we would help with mock interviews, help with interview preparation, and so on. It could be just to look into the sector and a bit of research. They need to find out a bit more about an organisation or the roles in general, so we can help with that. It can be wide-reaching classrooms. It could be webinars. It could be looking at career progression and career ladders within the sector. So there's no one shape fits all on this. So every intervention would be different for each individual. And what the individual needs, we would find out in that initial stage. Once we've kind of worked through and we've gone through these interventions with our young person and they're ready to be go through that recruitment process, then obviously that's where we need the job roles, we need the vacancies, but we can also help find those vacancies that are already out there. And that's where the recruitment side will come into it. So I'll pass on to Heidi for your next slide.
Thanks, Ben. So with the Prince's Trust, we want to pass on sort of any incentives that we're receiving. So we're making the apprenticeships and the commercial vacancies free to recruit for you. So anybody that goes through the Prince's Trust programme that is aged 16 to 30, for any of your current or new vacancies you create, if they're an apprenticeship vacancy with Qube or a commercial vacancy, it will be completely free of charge to use our recruitment service. Anybody that's 31 and over, the normal Qube talent fees will apply. So for an apprenticeship vacancy with Qube will be £250, and for a commercial vacancy, it will be £500. So what we've done here is we're creating tailor-made adverts for you. So probably like us, you're going to want to shout about being associated with the Prince's Trust. So on the adverts, we will make it very clear that this is the Prince's Trust vacancy. They will receive the intervention, they will receive the help, support and training that they need to become, to start their career in the healthcare sector. So anybody that we do get over, we're not going to discriminate against. If that is a good candidate, we know how hard it is to recruit at the moment. We will still pass those on to you, but there will be a small charge that goes alongside that. Thanks,
Okay.
Ben.
No problem. So we've gone through a kind of a quick run through of the initial kind of idea behind the scheme, why is it in place, how it could look for you guys. Does anybody have any questions, or have any questions kind of been brought up?
I've got 3 questions, Ben, that's come through previously,
Okay.
which I can go through. So I'll start off with the first question was, how do we send our vacancies to you? So this is really simple. We have an ATS system, an applicant tracking system, and we are able to basically put all of our vacancies onto one platform, and then we shoot them out to all the different platforms that we use to advertise our vacancies. So we would just need from you the job descriptions, the hours, the salary details and the locations of your vacancies, and we can get those straight onto our system and out to all of our platforms that we use, to give that a bigger reach for you. We also heavily use social media. So we do lots of campaigns to get those vacancies spread far and wide for everybody to see. So if you do have vacancies, if you've worked with us previously, you'll more than likely understand how Qube Talent works anyway. But if you haven't, then of course come back to us and we can have an individual discussion on how we can get those vacancies live for you as soon as possible. Question 2 was, do you cover all of England? So we have actually won the contract for Prince's Trust in 7 areas. So those areas are Doncaster, Hull, Bradford, North London, Cambridgeshire, Scunthorpe, and help me with the last one, Ben. Is it Rotherham?
Yes.
Rotherham, perfect. Sorry, I had a mind blank then. So if you are already an existing customer with Qube, i.e. we deliver your training or we recruit for your apprentices already, we can cover the whole of England with any vacancies that you may have. If we don't currently work with you, we would need to stick to those 7 areas that I just mentioned. Okay, question 3, what type of vacancies can they be? So the vacancies ideally will be paid positions. So we can do traineeships, but there would need to be a secure paid position available for the candidate at the end of the traineeship. So with traineeships, apprenticeships, and jobs, those are the 3 types that we can do. And also we can do part-time or full-time. So there's no real strict criteria as with regard to the amount of hours. Obviously, as we all know, people are looking for secure employment. So the more hours or the nearer we can get to full-time hours are definitely more attractive for these people to start their career in care. That's it, Ben.
Okay.
Is there any more that have come through?
Not that I can see on the chart, and I think they're kind of the key points for anybody. Obviously, you know, the types of vacancies it can work with. Obviously, we've mentioned there about as well what roles it would cover, and like I say, it's any role. So it's pretty much any role, any vacancy, we can offer this service to. So it's a great, like I say, overall the scheme's amazing, and hopefully it's there to benefit the sector as a whole and help you fill any vacancies that you may have. So, well, quickly just to say thank you for your time in listening to us about this scheme. If you have any further questions that we didn't quite get a chance to answer on this webinar, please feel free to drop me an email there at ben.doidge@qubelearning.co.uk. Or if you want to have any kind of more individualized specific context meetings, again, drop me an email and we can set something up to talk to you more specifically on an individual level. But hopefully you can see as a whole, the scheme hopefully will be a massive benefit to the adult care sector, helping to recruit and give you that pipeline of young people work coming through into the sector.